Is the Xbox Series S worth it in 2024? Let's find out. And also stay tuned till later on in the video to find out how you can win this exact Xbox Series S for yourself. But first, I want to give a huge thank you to Flexispot for sponsoring today's video. So I work at my desk a lot. In fact, almost every single day for most of the day. And if you're like me and you've realized that sitting at a desk all day sucks, I definitely recommend checking out a standing desk, and the one in particular that I really like to use and that also sponsored today's video is the Flexispot E7 and E7 Pro. Sitting at a desk all day is not great for your posture and also not great for your health, so it's important to be able to get up every hour or two and walk around the office or walk around wherever you need to go. However, you are able to mitigate some of those problems by having a standing desk and spend part of your day standing at your desk versus sitting. In fact, for me personally, I would say that I probably spend 2 to 3 hours a day editing videos while I'm standing up at this desk. And not only does it feel better for my body to be able to go back and forth between sitting and standing, I also feel like I'm more alert and more productive when I'm standing. I hate to admit it, but I procrastinate all the time, and I find that I procrastinate most when I'm sitting versus when I'm standing. So if I'm standing editing a video, I usually get it done in probably an hour or two quicker than when I'm sitting, because when I'm sitting, I get comfortable, I start watching YouTube, and I dive into a rabbit hole. Flexispot's E7 desk is not only affordable and looks great, but it's also super strong. I have a lot of heavy stuff on my desk at all times. My PC itself is really heavy, and my Flexispot E7 desk handles it with no issues whatsoever and no wobble. The Flexispot E7 is great because you can save preset height. So if you have a certain height that you like to stand at, you can save it. If you have a certain height that you like to sit at, you can save it and then just press one button and it automatically goes there. And of course, you can also make small adjustments to that by pressing the up and down arrow, or just do it manually every time yourself. Flexispot has a ton of different options when it comes to standing desks and ergonomic chairs, so no matter what you're looking for, colorway, size, comfort level, you can find it at Flexispot. So make sure to check out Flexispot for yourself, change the way that you work, and use promo code YTB15 for 10% off your order of $500 or more. And once again, huge thank you to Flexispot for sponsoring today's video. So the Xbox Series S has been out officially since the end of 2020 and is the little brother to the Xbox Series X. The main difference between this console and the standard Xbox Series X is not only the fact that this doesn't have a disk drive, but also that it's not as powerful as the Xbox Series X. However, the Xbox Series S comes in at a cheaper price point depending on which version of the console you get. In 2022, I did a similar video to this where I unboxed the standard Xbox Series S, which is the cheaper version of this console. It comes with 512 gigabytes of storage and a lower retail price of $299. However, since then, they've released the updated version of the Xbox Series S, which the only real difference is that it comes with 1 terabyte of storage, and it also comes in black. And for those upgrades, you do have to spend a little bit more money, $50 more. So the retail price of this console is $349 versus $299. The good news is though, because we are sort of halfway through the lifespan of the Xbox Series S, finding these consoles on sale is not the hardest thing anymore. In fact, back in 2022 when I recorded that video, it was actually almost impossible to find any Xbox Series console or PlayStation 5 in stores. Now you can walk into pretty much any Target in America and find an Xbox Series S sitting on the shelf. And the fact that the Xbox Series S was the easiest to find out of all of the consoles back in 2022 was one of the main reasons why I recommended this console, because you could get next generation gaming at retail price versus paying resale. However, like I just mentioned, times have changed and you can pretty much find any console that you're looking for, if not in store, at least online on Amazon. Plus, in 2024, we now have new console competitors like the PlayStation 5 Slim All Digital Edition, which, to be fair, is still $100 and in some cases $150 more than the Xbox Series S, but it is cheaper than a standard PlayStation 5. Although not as cheap as the original all-digital PlayStation 5, which I think is insane. But of course, with this version of the console, you can add a disk drive if you decide to upgrade, so maybe that's why they're upcharging you, or maybe they just are upcharging you because they can, but either way, you do have more options now than you had 2 years ago. And actually, if you want to learn more about the PlayStation 5 Slim and the Slim All Digital Edition, I've made sure to leave links to my videos at the top of the screen. Also, I've made sure to leave links to buy all of the things that I've talked about in today's video on the YouTube shopping tab on your screen, which I couldn't really do 2 years ago because the Xbox Series S was so difficult to find. But with all that being said, let's unbox this console and find out what we've got inside. I've never actually seen the all black one in person, so I'm kind of excited. But of course, first, before we dive into the box, we have to take a look at the art on the outside of the box and see if there's anything different about this packaging than the standard Xbox Series S, which, I'll be honest, the first thing I notice is the fact that the console is black. You've got an image of the console and the controller on the front. You've got this really awful shadow graphic underneath the controller and the console. It's so bad. At least put some sort of gradient on it or something, but they didn't. You also got this little guy down here that says that this console is now 1 terabyte versus 512 gigabytes, which is huge because on the 512 gigabyte version of the console, you really only get like 360 gigabytes of usable storage, whereas in this one you get closer to 800 gigabytes of usable storage, of course, because the console's operating system takes up a couple hundred gigs. And when it comes to gaming, especially on a console that doesn't have any disk drive slots, so you have to download everything digitally, you need as much space as possible. And unfortunately, in this era of gaming, games are usually around 120 gigabytes in size, which is insane, especially games like Call of Duty, which can be even more. So if you download Call of Duty on your original Xbox Series S, it's almost half of your storage, which means you can only download one other game that size, or maybe a couple games that are smaller. Whereas on the newer version of the Xbox Series S, because you've got the larger storage space, you can download more games, which is a good thing. Xbox does also give you the option to buy essentially SD cards that are proprietary to plug into your console to increase the storage, but they're very expensive and they honestly don't work in anything else other than Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. So after these consoles are obsolete, so will those storage drives, which is frustrating because they cost like $80 to $100. I don't remember the exact pricing model, but it's expensive. And it becomes even more frustrating when you realize that you can install an SSD on your PlayStation 5 to increase the storage, which you can use on your laptop or really any other device. So they make it really difficult to increase your storage, whereas on the PlayStation 5, you can just buy any old laptop SSD. I specifically bought the PlayStation branded one, and of course there are ones that you want to avoid, but you can buy most of the faster ones and be just fine. On one side of the box, you've got another image of the console standing vertically. On the other side of the box, you got some of its features, like 120 frames per second. You've got Xbox Velocity architecture, 1TB SSD, variable refresh rate, HDR, disc-free gaming. Apparently is a feature on this console. Hate that, but it is what it is. On the back of the box, you've got some images of games that you can play, like Forza, Minecraft, Fortnite. I'm trying to recognize all the games in the back of this. I don't know what they all are, I'll be honest with you. Hey, but that's fine. Okay, with all that being said, let's actually unbox the console finally. Turn tab on the bottom, there is. Just like the packaging in the Xbox Series X and the original Xbox Series S. So you've got Power Your Dreams on the top of the console, and of course it comes with this paper. Before we get to the paper though, and before we get to the console, let's first take a look at what else we got inside the box. We've got this getting started guide, which also shows you how to install the batteries in the controller. And then of course we get to the cables. We've got a HDMI to HDMI. We've got a power cable. We've got the official instruction manual. We've also got the controller itself in this beautiful black color, which is the same controller you get with the Xbox Series X. I would love it if the Xbox Series X came in white. I have the original Xbox Series X in black. It's dope. But it would be sick if it came in white, because obviously the Xbox Series S comes in white, and now we got a black version. I really love the hand feel of the Xbox Series controllers. It's not as good as the Xbox 360 in my own personal opinion, and obviously the PlayStation 5 controller feels amazing, but these feel good. Really, really good. I play mostly Madden on the Xbox, and I'm just so used to these controllers. I love them. Also, with the controller, you do get some batteries, because unlike the PlayStation 5 controller, you don't get to recharge the controller. You have to either add rechargeable batteries, add some sort of pack that allows you to recharge, or just replace the AA batteries. So there's that. So if you don't like having AA batteries in your controller, maybe don't get an Xbox controller, or just buy the sort of battery pack that you can add on after the fact. But interesting to see that on a modern console, because none of the other consoles have battery packs like that for their controllers. Okay. Now let's get into the console itself. Alright, so you've got Power Your Dreams. Let's slide this off. Now, like I said, I am giving away this exact console to one of you guys, so I'm trying to be careful with the packaging. Of course, stay tuned for a little bit longer to find out how you can win this console for yourself. It really is taped like a present. It's nice. The size of this guy is so nice compared to the Xbox Series X. The Xbox Series X is a chunk. This is some nice, small, almost like a book. I really like this console a lot. The black color looks amazing. I really prefer this to the white for the Xbox Series S. I know I just said that I wanted a white Xbox Series X, but I think I just like when there's a new color for a console, and that's why I like this one better. I'm sure I preferred the white one when the white one came out. I don't know. Either way, I think this console looks great. I love the size of it. Obviously, this is not as powerful as the standard Xbox Series X. Again, it is cheaper. The Xbox Series X comes in at a retail price of $499. This comes in at $349, so you are saving $150. However, with that extra $150, you are getting more power. You're getting a disk drive. Originally, you weren't getting 1 terabyte of storage, but with that version of the Xbox Series S, you were also paying a little bit less, $299. So if budget is the most important thing to you, or price is the most important thing to you, I would suggest getting the standard Xbox Series S at $299, because that's going to be the cheapest console available on the market in terms of like PlayStation and Xbox. Obviously, Switches you can get for a little bit cheaper, but if you're looking for a cheap console to play Call of Duty on, the Xbox Series S is probably the way to go. Now, if you have $50 extra, definitely opt for the Xbox Series S with 1 terabyte because that extra storage is amazing. That being said though, if you have 150 extra additional dollars, so $200 total on top of the $299, get the Xbox Series X. You're getting 1 terabyte of storage, you're getting a more powerful console, you're getting a disc drive, and you're getting a console that I think when these consoles become obsolete, you could probably flip for a little bit more money. Not that that's something that you're thinking about. I always used to sell my consoles after I was done with them and then use that money to buy the next console, but not everyone does that, so maybe that's not a consideration for everyone. However, the Xbox Series S, while it is obviously a budget-friendly console compared to the Xbox Series X, there are still a lot of really great things about this console, not only just the size and the fact that it's so compact. I love how small this is. I mean, it's unbelievable. Let's compare it really quickly to the PlayStation 5 Slim, which obviously is on a stand, so it's slightly higher than usual, but I mean, the size difference is stark. Thickness-wise, about the same at the base, a little bit wider on the PS5, obviously a lot shorter, and then of course on the sides of the console, the Xbox Series S is noticeably smaller. So if you're looking for the smallest console available that's not a Switch, the Xbox Series S is definitely the way to go. In my opinion, one of the best reasons to get the Xbox Series S is to play Game Pass. Now, Game Pass is a service that Microsoft offers that allows you to download a bunch of games for 1 flat fee. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember this, but you used to have to go to Blockbuster or Game Crazy to rent games if you wanted to rent games to play on your console. Nowadays, you could just download them almost like Netflix, except Microsoft Game Pass, and it allows you to download and try a bunch of different games, essentially for $15 a month, or whatever the fee is. I don't know if they've raised it over the last couple years. I subscribed back in like 2018, and I haven't checked the price. I probably should. They could have raised it $200 a month, and I wouldn't know. Maybe that's where all my money's going. In my opinion, that is the best way to get the most out of your Xbox consoles. Obviously, you can have Game Pass and play it on your phone and stream it through your phone, which is fine. In my opinion, the best way to play Game Pass is native on an Xbox console, and if you're trying to get into Game Pass the cheapest way possible on an Xbox console, the Xbox Series S is the way to do it. Now, with that being said, you do still have to download the games onto your system. So, if you're grabbing an Xbox Series S, I would suggest going for this one, the 1 terabyte version of the console, rather than getting the smaller one, the 512 gigabyte version of the console, and then having to buy those stupid proprietary memory cards later down the road. This is, in my opinion, the best way to go. Obviously, the Xbox Series X is the premium way to play these games because you can play them in full resolution, like 4K. You can usually play them a little bit faster, and things just look a little bit sharper on the Xbox Series X because it is more powerful. However, you can still play all of the same games you can play on the Xbox Series X on the Xbox Series S, the smaller version of the console. So again, if you're trying to get it in as cheaply as possible, this is the way to do it. But now we get to the question, is the Xbox Series S worth it in 2024? Well, in my opinion, because we don't know if there's going to be any mid-cycle refreshes on the Xbox Series consoles, I think so. To be fair, this is technically a mid-cycle refresh of the console. It comes in black and it comes with a larger solid-state drive, and that's really all you're getting. But I do think this is worth it, especially for $349. You're getting a very capable console, which you can buy games on, or you can get Game Pass, which is what I recommend, and download as many games as you want, obviously deleting games once you're done with them because you don't have the space for all of them. But it allows you to play pretty much anything that Microsoft has made and play it for a pretty affordable price. And if you only feel comfortable buying the cheapest version of the Xbox Series S, the white version that comes in 512 gigabytes, that's fine as well, but keep in mind you're only going to be able to store like 2 to 3 games on the console at a time. Unless you're downloading like small size platformers, or maybe Xbox One games or Xbox 360 games. If you're downloading current AAA titles, you could probably only fit 2 to 3. If you're downloading other stuff, obviously the sky's the limit depending on the size of those games. But again, to answer the question in short, yes, I do think that the Xbox Series S is worth it in 2024, especially in this 1 terabyte variant of the console. I think this black looks amazing. I think it's super easy to kind of hide away on a shelf, not even realize that you've got a console sitting there. It's awesome. I really love it. I really love what Microsoft has done with this console. Obviously, when it comes to deciding between an Xbox and a PlayStation, it really depends on what games you're looking for. A lot of games are available on both consoles, but some games aren't. So if there are certain games that you want to play that are only available on PlayStation, that means you're gonna have to spend a little bit more money and buy a PlayStation. But I would say for most people, this is a great way to go, and it's definitely cheaper than buying a PC. But now at this point, let's talk about how you can win this exact Xbox Series S for yourself. Entering this giveaway is super easy. All you need to do is be subscribed to the channel and turn on notifications, and then once you've done all that, comment subbed up in the comment section down below. The giveaway will run for 2 weeks from the time of posting this video, and then I'll let you guys know who won through the YouTube community tab only. Do not comment back to any of the random comments that you're gonna get underneath your comments. It's all spam, it's all bots. What I'll do is I'll pin the winner's comment and then comment underneath and ask them to send me an email or whatever I end up doing, but it'll be official. It'll come from only this account, and I'll make sure to post it on the YouTube community tab, which you can see if you're subscribed to the channel. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the Xbox Series S in the comment section down below, and I will see you all in the next one.